we continue on project 6, our Excel project 6. We have done the first 2 questions. We are now in question 3. It says that in age 28, we want to use the normal distribution app in Art of Stat to find the probability the sample mean age of tablet users is more than 30 years old. So this distribution is the distribution of the sample mean age and not the distribution of the age of a single user. So for that, then, we will use the mean and standard deviation that we calculated in part 1D, 34 and 1.5. So we will go in the normal distribution app and we will find the probability. The mean is 34, but this time the standard deviation is 1.5. And we are asked to find the probability that the mean age is more than 30 years old. And again, more than will be an upper tail. Upper tail is to the right. More than is to the right. And we want the value of little x, the value of the variable, to be 30. So now we see that the probability of the mean being more than 30 is 99.62%, almost 100% probability, and this is because the distribution of the sample mean has a standard deviation of only 1.5 and not 15 due to the sample size of 100. So we want to take a screenshot of this. Include the name of the app that you use, the left pane, the table under the graph, your full graph, and paste it. And resize. Okay, great. And then let's zoom back in and continue following the instructions. So in part B of question 3, it says use the function normal distribution x mean standard deviation cumulative with cumulative equal to true to find the CDF for the x bar equal to 30. And the x bar equal to 30 CDF means that we will be calculating cumulative probability, but for the distribution of the sample mean. And again, we have to use locations. So the value of x here is 30. And this will be the normal distribution. And they want the value of x, which is here, comma. Then it wants the value of the mean. But remember to go in Q1D, in part 1D, to grab the mean from the mean of the sample distribution, the sampling distribution. And then it wants, comma, the standard deviation. And again, make sure you go to part 1D to grab the standard deviation. And then, comma, and do we want it to be a cumulative or just a probability mass function? We want it to be a cumulative, so we will select true. And this is the value. Let's continue to read here. So we enter the value of x bar in C29. In C30, we use the normal distribution function to find the probability. Is this the answer we were looking for to answer part 3A, why or why not? Type your answer in the area starting at B31. So B31 is this area over here. And when we used Art of Stat, we found the probability to be 99.62%. This probability is 0.383%. So the question is is this the answer? And the answer is no. Why is it not the answer? And again, if you pay attention here, we found the 0.38% that is to the left of 30, and that is what a calculator CDF or the Excel CDF function will give us. So your answer here should be along the lines that the normal distribution CDF in Excel provides the probability of the mean being less than 30, the lower tail. So it still asks us to write a mathematical expression in B30, the mathematical expression of the probability found in C30. Now be careful here that we are doing the distribution of the sample mean, and therefore it's not the probability that X is less than 30. It is the probability that your sample mean is X less than 30. So it tells us to use the variable name uppercase M for the sample mean. So we want the probability that the uppercase M will be less than 30 here. So how are we going to answer the question that they want us? The probability the user sample mean age is more than 30 years. How are we going to find the 99% that we want? And the answer is that those two add to 1. So the probability greater than 30 will be 1 minus the probability that we found with the CDF, and that will be the 99.62 as the Art of Stat app also gave us. Let's answer question part 4, question 4 also in this video. So let's move on. Question 4 says, use the normal distribution app in Art of Stat to find the 95th percentile of the sample mean age. So remember, what is the 95th percentile? The 95th percentile is the value of the variable that has 95% of the other values at that value or below it. So the value of the variable, our variable is still the sample mean age. So we are still in the distribution of the sample mean. We will leave our mean and standard deviation at 1.5, but in this case we are not finding the probability, we are finding the percentile and quantile. So we're going to come here, we are looking for the lower tail indeed, and the 95% is the default. This is what they are asking us for, and the sample mean age is 36.467 years of age, and they need us to take a screenshot. Remember to include the title of your app, the left pane where you enter your inputs, and any tables below the graph that Art of Stat is providing you. You want to paste this in the given area. Let's zoom out so that we can resize our image. And let's zoom back in so that we can continue filling out our Excel spreadsheet. So remember that when you used the app here, you needed the mean, the standard deviation. You have already calculated them earlier. You wanted the percentile of the lower tail, and you had to enter this percentile, the 95. So the project is asking us to now do the work that Art of Stat did in Excel. So we want to enter the percentile as a percent or a decimal. So you can't enter 95. You either have to enter 95% or you have to enter 0.95. That is because Excel needs the actual value, and the actual value is not 95, but it is 95%. And we want to find the percentile. So in D55, we have to use the Excel function normal inverse. Remember, the inverse function will take a probability and it will return you a value of the variable. Remember that our variable is still the sample mean age. So when we pick up the mean and the standard deviation, they have to be from part 1D, where we calculated the mean and the standard deviation of the distribution of the sample means. So let's try that. So here equals normal, and we don't want the normal distribution, we want the normal inverse. It asks you for the probability, you have written it above, the user entered it there, comma. What is the mean? We want to go to part 1D, the mean is here, comma. What is the standard deviation? The standard deviation is right below it in part 1D, comma, and the normal inverse is by default a CDF. So I will just close the parenthesis and press enter. And the value is 36.4673, which is exactly what we found here in Art of Stat. So things are looking good. The next part here, it says that decrease the decimal function in Excel to get to a value rounded to the nearest tenth, only one decimal place. And what you want to do here, also in E56, you want to enter the units for the percentile. Remember, your variable is the sample mean age. It's measured in the units of age, which is years. But here what you want to do is you just want to copy the value from the percentile that Excel gave you with better accuracy. And you want to use, it was like this. And you want to use this function, the decreased decimal function, at the tab home under the category number. And you want to decrease it so that it comes to the nearest tenth, which is one decimal digit after the decimal point. And here you want to write years. And in the next cell, B57, you want to interpret in complete sentences the meaning of the percentile that you just found in 4A and 4B. So 4A was the Art of Stat and 4B is the work in Excel. And again, here in this space, you want to say that 95% of samples of size 100 are expected to have a mean age for tablet users of 36.5 years or less. This concludes question 4, and it will conclude this video. We will make a separate video for question 5.